demon from hell. I don't know what to say. I cannot help you. But that is a video of a terrorist attack on American soil from an American citizen, Meghan Markle, terrorist and baker, apparently. She's baking. This is what, astounds me about someone like Meghan Markle, and you almost have to respect it, and then we'll move on to the real terrorism that's actually plaguing the country, although that's not terrorism, by the way. What's astounding about her is she's been found out. The jig is up, and still she persists. Like, there's no confusion about what she is or what she wants anymore. Everybody knows that everything she supposedly stands for isn't actually what she stands for. She's completely transparent. We get it. We know what she wants. She wants to hang out with rich, famous people and make them cupcakes. She doesn't care about social justice. She doesn't care about... None of it matters. She wants to make cupcakes with rich people in Santa Barbara. Not a bad life. Not exactly the life we were told she wanted to live, but it's always the life she wanted to live. And we know that, and everybody knows it, and she's still doing it. And Netflix, who I'm in business with to a degree, God bless, I don't know. I mean, she's got an in over there. I don't know what it is, but hey, nothing but positive things to say about my partners at Netflix, a great streaming service, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll be a great show. I don't know. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Perhaps it will be a great show. Giving people little moments, which is, I believe, what the show is about. It's giving people little moments that they appreciate. A little raspberry here, an affogato there, little moments that they can treasure and take with them. And I'm glad she's bounced back from all of the, people trying to kill her and attack her and chase her and all the things that she imagined were happening. And she's giving little moments. She's giving back. Giving a little moment here, little moment, a little goat cheese here.
Sayonara, brother. What's up, man? How are you, buddy?
There, little moments.
What's going on, my friend?
Little moments here. And I
had my interview for the Saudi Arabia school on Monday. I haven't found out yet. It went well, though.
A man in an exploded Cybertruck
went
was
extremely
an elite
well.
soldier, and he shot himself before the blast. Now, we don't know a motive here.
It would be in Dammam, the job.
We're recording this Thursday night. The man who drove a Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas was an active duty U.S. Special Forces soldier and shot himself dead before the blast. So
Damn. Oh my God, it's a sign, dude.
About this. His name was Matthew Allen Livelsberger.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm going to find out maybe next week. It's fucked though, because they said they would contact me if I was successul, which kind of pissed me off because I spent like an hour. I spent like 4 hours making my presentation. Because I had to make a mock class and PowerPoint and everything. Least they can do is just email some person to say,
you
didn't get it, you know?
An iPhone, smartwatch, and several credit cards in Mr. Livelsberger's name from the charred vehicle. The body in the vehicle was burnt beyond recognition. I'll say it again.
It's a sign, brother.
Burnt beyond recognition, and was found with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head, according to Las Vegas Sheriff Kevin McKay. I'm leaving for Vegas in a few hours to go to the scene of this crime to do my own investigation. I'm doing my journalism, actually. I'm doing Baccarat at the Wynn a little because I do appreciate a high-end Asian game, but I'm also gonna kind of see what's going on here, and I'm hoping I'm not heading into the belly of the beast. 7 people were injured when the vehicle filled with fuel canisters and firework mortars exploded on New Year's Day. However, officials said all injuries were minor. Now, there is a conspiracy going around on X, and I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not. We just know that something is happening on X, and we have this. Supposedly, Matthew Livelsberger, a.k.a. Matt Berg, changed his signal safety number just before the explosion, and then his photo and safety number changed after the explosion. And this is something that people are chatting about on X. It's always strange when a body is burned beyond recognition. He's an active duty. I believe he was active duty military. And he's out there. We don't know a motive for this. Now, people snap all the time. People have problems, psychological problems that other people don't know about, and things like this happen. But there is also a history in America of lone wolf attacks from people that, upon further inspection, don't seem like they were lone wolf attacks. That's not insane. I'm not telling you the earth is flat. I'm saying that often when you look at a guy who is like a lone wolf guy that he just didn't have a network. He wasn't plugged in. He did his own thing. He marched to the beat of his own drum. He got a weapon and he went and he did something crazy. A lot of times when you look into that further, it's actually not the case. You have a crazy amount of coincidences around all of these things. I don't know enough about this yet. We don't know about these things. But we do know this is the Mr. I hate these names because Vegas, all these names never make sense, but it's Mr. McMahill. Said there are several parallels, but no definite link between the suspect in the incident in Las Vegas and the truck attack in New Orleans. You remember this? A military guy joined ISIS and drove his truck through a crowd on Bourbon Street and killed 14 people, and they both took place on New Year's Day. Both suspects served at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, though there is no record they served in the same unit or were there at the same time. They also both served in Afghanistan in 2009. There's no evidence they were in the same region or unit. Both also used rental company Turo for the vehicles involved in the incidents, Mr. McMahill said. We don't believe there's any further threat from this subject or anybody associated with him here in Las Vegas. I've heard from somebody who's in the CIA that Hezbollah has sleeper cells all over America. And they make a lot of money, and they send that money back to fund operations in Hezbollah, and that Al-Qaeda has some sleeper cells as well, though not as many as Hezbollah. The guy in New Orleans was a military guy. We just talked about all the similarities. He joined ISIS and then drove his truck through a bunch of people in New Orleans. And this is terrible. Like, if you read the descriptions of the suspects, these are like young people primarily living their life out in New Orleans. It's New Year's Eve. They all seem to be like, and I mean, who cares? I mean, it doesn't matter. Life is life no matter what. But when you read about these victims, they were all like people that were working and had good lives and had worked really hard and were out enjoying a well-deserved night out, and they are mowed down by a psychopath who's an American citizen who joined ISIS. And this guy's name is, what is his name? Is his name Tommy? What's his name? I'm sorry. Shamsuddin Jabbar. His New Year's massacre in New Orleans, he joined ISIS. He had a pickup truck with an ISIS flag. And it could embolden the terrorist organization to radicalize more Americans. It's an argument against both legal and illegal immigration, by the way. It is. It's actually an argument against both. If we're bringing people in, or they're being born here, and they're citizens, and they're joining the military, and they're still joining then ISIS, we're not doing a good job. There's no way that's the goal of any country's immigration system, The goal is to like assimilate people to where they go, one day I'll own a small business, or one day I'll have a house with a pretty picket fence and a yard, maybe a pool for the youngins. It's certainly not for them to join ISIS after being in our military. So now they have all the different skills. They have skills from us and skills from ISIS. That's not what we want. We don't want people getting all of the different, this guy's moonlighting in many different things. We don't want that. It's not ideal. Not good. That's not what we want. We don't want people joining our military going, well, I've learned a lot. Now let me go join ISIS as well, see what they've got to offer me. Then I'll drive a rental car down Bourbon Street on New Year's Eve because I believe in giving my life for the cause. This is part of the issue. And even if this is a very small, infinitesimal, statistical, non-event, very small group of people that would never even, it's so small, this group of people that get radicalized. They're so teeny tiny, you can't even see it. You'd have to get an electron microscope to see how small this group of people is. Or be right. Even it would be tremendously disruptive to have trucks like a guy in Germany in the Christmas market, however, who was some psycho that was a guy who was radicalized to the supposedly to the right, whether that's true or not, in Germany. This is a problem. You can't have people driving pickup trucks into crowds of people and killing them. And this was a guy who's clearly has some serious issues, and he seemed to be, in the first video, Jabbar explains he only planned to harm his family and friends. Well, I'm for that. Well, that's fine. I didn't know that's where he was going. I would have said to him, Jabbar, I get it, but was concerned that the news headlines would not focus on the war between the believers and the disbelievers. Believers in what, Jabbar? But again, this is my thing. ISIS is going to have a field day with recruitment now. ISIS, I'm telling you, if you are a recruiter in ISIS, you are going to have a field day. It is going to be easy for you to get people, because here's the deal. As America throws people in the street, as our financial system, I mean, when the CEO of a healthcare company gets shot and outside it's the Rose Bowl, you know that people aren't thrilled. They're not happy, nor should they be. I mean, when a CEO of a company gets shot in the head in New York City and everybody is cheering that on, truly, like it's a ticker tape parade for their favorite baseball team, you have a population of people, can we say they're angry? Can we say they're frustrated? Can we say they're not happy? We can say all of those things, and I think we'd be correct to say it. Now you have people in ISIS that are recruiting going, man, we're going to be able to pick off a few people. Does it help that we brought a bunch of people into this country from countries that have sympathetic views towards ISIS? No, that doesn't help. That's not helpful. That we've imported lots of people from cultures that think ISIS is kind of cool. That's not great. We've done that. If you talk about it, if you suggest that it's not a good idea, if you say let's maybe, take it down a notch with that, you're dismissed as a Nazi, racist, KKK, psychopath, you're a problem, you're in a militia, If you question at all the wisdom of importing cultures that have nothing to do with Western civilization and in fact abhor it, and some of them, by the way, for reasons I can understand, because we've been fucking around in their countries for a while, and nobody was, I wasn't doing it, but it's been the policy of our country to do things all over the world that aren't great. And then these people show up and they go, by the way, we're going to hit you people where you live on Bourbon Street. And I'm not saying it's justified or good, but we can say, is it not a great idea to be all over the world in everybody's business and then importing people from those cultures into our country and just seeing what happens. It's like that Bravo, like, you know, the Bravo, watch what happens. That's every time I think about our immigration policy and our foreign policy and how they're linked. It's the Bravo, the network Bravo's 3 fucking word little teaser. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. And we're seeing it. Well, what caused the 42-year-old Jabbar, here, go back up. What caused the 42-year-old Jabbar, a U.S. citizen raised in Texas, to be radicalized remains unknown. I'm going to guess it might be the religion. That I'm going to tell you right now, a part of it's going to be the religion. But what caused 42-year-old Jabbar, U.S. citizen raised in Texas, to be radicalized remains unknown? What caused him to do it? It's gonna be a little bit of the religion. I'm telling you. It's gonna be a little bit of that. I'm not saying we haven't made mistakes in that part of the world, but I'm telling you right now, the going and dying for something, committing an act like that, and then dying for the cause seems to be at least tangentially related to the religion. It seems to have some.
Yo, Sailor Curse legend, brother.
He
also
was
legend.
maybe looking for some types of answers. Abdur Jabbar told Reuters in an interview at his home in Beaumont, Texas, noting that his brother had recently renewed his Muslim faith after abandoning it in his 20s and 30s. Interesting.
Bro,
I'm
did
wondering
you see
if that
the
was
recent
any
thread
type of tell. I
on
could be
fucking
wrong.
poll?
Just curious if that was perhaps.
Bro, have you seen this?
He was smart, funny, charismatic, loving, compassionate, humble, and literally wouldn't hurt a fly. Oh, okay, it's lovely. That's why it's so devastating.
Going when they go to
His
Amazon.India.
It's not like him. We're trying to
Oh my
understand
God,
what
dude.
changed too. And well, he faced financial struggles. His father suffered a stroke. But here's the deal. There's a lot of people that face financial problems in
Why
America.
did they
A lot of
delete it? They
people's
did
families have
not
strokes.
delete that
A
thread.
lot of people,
Whatever, I got the
very
images.
few of those people get
Bro.
in a car and drive it down a crowded
Check the
street on
catalog.
New Year's Eve. He was deployed in Afghanistan
Here we go.
in a
Amazon India
non-combatant
General.
role.
Oh my God, dude.
We've made a big mess, haven't we? Doesn't it
This is
feel
from
like
cow
a big
dung.
mess? It
This is
feels
from cow
like a
dung,
big
man.
mess. We were in an unwinnable war. It was a bad idea. Guys like this one over there.
Yeah,
witnessed
the
God
archive,
only
yeah,
knows
buddy.
what. Now they're back.
Bro.
There's no mental health care. They're all insane.
Like, bro.
And now they're renting
This is fucking.
cars on Turo. I rented a
This
car
is
on
real.
Turo.
This is the real from Amazon India.
And I drove it
I don't
very
agree with
fast
it.
in Palm
I just
Springs,
agree it's
and
not
this piece
funny.
of shit goes,
But like,
I
bro.
have a thing on my car. It shows you went 107. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. It's neither here nor there. The point is, fuck Turo, too, unless they advertise. Because it is a good, here's the thing. Let's be honest about Turo and send this clip to them. It does seem convenient. I will say it does seem convenient to get. But, of
Bro,
course,
this is
you
the
know,
third one, bro. This is
does
the number
seem to be
3,
a
dude.
big
It's really
mess.
fucked. Like, check this one,
is
bro.
why you
Bro.
can't
Look at what they have for sale.
expect all of the
100%
things
cow
you
dung
do in
cake,
the world
completely dry.
to not matter, and you
500
cannot
for $175.
expect everyone that you open the door of this country
Cows
to
are very sacred in
to
Hinduism.
not engage in these
Bro, it gets worse,
activities.
man.
This
gets
is
worse,
going to
dude.
be a problem.
Like,
It's going to be a big problem. And this is, I think,
it gets much worse. Like, I'll
of the
have the
main
photos. I can
reasons-
pull them up.
Jabbar also said in
Oh,
the
is this
videos that he had
fucking-
joined the Islamic State before last
Oh,
summer
no,
and
that's not
provided
it.
his last will and testament, according
Like,
to Raya. Wait, well, hold on. Why is he on Raya? It's for celebrities.
It's like
Oh, wait.
fucking so full, man.
Oh, Christopher Raya. Christopher
shit.
Raya is the deputy assistant director of the FBI. I thought he was on Raya, the dating
Here we go.
service for people that
Here it is.
have lots of followers.
Dude,
I was like, Raya
on,
could
man.
cause anyone to
Like,
drive
come
a
on,
truck
man.
through a crowded group.
bro.
Jabbar did not have a violent
come
criminal
on.
record prior to his attack, though he was sentenced to 12 months probation for driving under the influence.
Horfun was fucking wild. I know, dude. For fucking sleep sex.
Here's the thing. When someone gets very devout in the Muslim faith,
I
you
just
run a
like,
little
bro.
bit of a risk. You run a little bit of a
320
risk. I don't want to sound
rupees?
insensitive about it. But you run a little bit of a risk, by the way. Just like if
people like reviews, like drinking
start
it,
doing
here we
end
go,
times
man.
Christianity on me,
Bro.
you start doing the survivalist stuff, you start going hard in that direction, it's never an indication that your mental health is ideal.
Like, bro.
It's never an indication that things are great.
I've
If
never
you
been
start
in
with
India,
the, like,
man,
end
but like, this
times,
shit's fucked, man. This is fucked up.
prophecy, doomsday cult stuff. So now we're going to look inside the Bourbon Street home of this attacker.
Or is this a review of the cow dung? Come
Because
on, man. Come on.
They said he was like living in squalor, but I don't know.
Come on, man.
Photos of the inside of his home.
They fucking burn it, and then
Majority
this
Muslim
house
neighborhood
smells like
person
cow shit.
revealed
Come
multiple
on,
copies
dude.
of the Quran, a book on Christianity, and a book about teaching children about Islam. Yeah, I mean, this, again, doesn't look great for the argument that the diversity being the strength. I'm just, again, I'm trying not to be pessimistic about
Like,
all of the diversity that's
You see the guy that was caught with like cow dung in his fucking
It
luggage?
might not be always a good.
Indian
It might be good
caught
sometimes.
with
Sometimes diversity can be really, really good.
Indian caught
You know what I
with
mean? People always bring
cow
up the
dung
food, which I
cakes
get.
entering
yum, yum.
United
Look,
States or
different kinds of
something.
food.
Like,
Not always as good when you're
Bro.
standing on Bourbon Street and there's a truck in your back.
Customers,
That's
Indians
not
to stop
good.
carrying cow
That's
dung
not ideal.
in their
I don't want
bags.
that.
Come on,
Diversity has
man.
many angles. Yum yum, rice,
Like,
halal
bro.
food, good. And I'm not trying. I'm just saying, like, can we not admit that it's a little
Come
bit of a
on,
double-edged
man.
sword? Is that not? Is it not okay? And there's Muslims that watch the show who
Leave the
probably
fucking
agree
cow
with
shit
me.
at home, man.
I mean, it's just what it is. It's not. You can't.
Bro.
There's a lot of people that left that part of the world to get away
Come
from
on, man.
the religiosity, the conflicts. And then there's a lot of people that are coming to this
Come
part
on,
of the
man.
world
This is
to
not
bring
what they
with
do.
them
This is not
the
real.
religiosity and the conflict.
This is not a
And
real
I don't know
photograph.
who's who. That's tough. That's difficult. It's not easy to figure out exactly who is which.
Come on,
You go,
man.
so how do you feel
Come on, man.
about ISIS?
This is not real
Do you
life,
think
man.
Good, bad,
Like, come on, dude.
or it's complicated.
Holy
Like, I don't
shit.
know how
It's so funny.
an next door neighbor who
Very
has
good
not to
food
be
there. How
identified
they
told
even
Fox
able
News
to do
Digital that he
that?
had
They
seen
just
Jabbar loading up a white
fucking-
pickup truck on Tuesday outside of his
Like,
Houston
what
home
the
the morning before the
fuck,
attack.
man? This is like the
The neighbor said
Independent,
he
man.
spoke with Jabbar, who
Like,
told him he
come
had gotten a
on.
job, was moving to Louisiana.
That's like, it's
Interesting.
insane, dude.
Huh.
That's really
Well,
fucked
this
up.
is the house. Can we see it? An exterior view of Shamsuddin Jabbar's home in Houston.
Come on, man.
I gotta be honest. Go back
Bro.
up. Make it a little larger. I'm going on curb appeal only. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it.
All right, anyways,
It
let's
seems,
fucking...
is it a trailer? It seems like a modular home. It's a
Come
trailer
on,
on a
man.
foundation. Go down.
Like a Kumar?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. It's a little more charming because you have to see the yard.
What the fuck?
The problem is that people who lived in the military shouldn't live like that. I mean, people who served in our military shouldn't really live like that. Like, they should have.
Man, that shit's
We
fucked,
should give
dude.
them more. They're making a sacrifice for America that we should give them more. I don't know that, again, a lot of terrorists or people that spread an ideology of radical Islam aren't poor. The bin Laden family wasn't poor. A lot of people, the Wahhabis in Saudi Arabia, a lot of them are not poor.
Run
The
a drug
Qatari royal
cartel.
family is not poor. All of these people, it's not easy to say. But now the poor people are the ones that are often willing to just go blow themselves up because they don't have much
How to
lose.
unfuck yourself, book.
So I don't think it's an economic issue, but we shouldn't have people fighting in our military that come to live in those if that can be helped. Now we can't obviously insulate people from every decision they make.
It's too much, man.
I like, this is not a fun the fun terrorist attack to me is the Cybertruck where no one really gets hurt and it was clearly done by the feds. This is not as fun. This is like a real one where people died. We've got the usual suspects back, and I sound racist discussing it, and it's not fun. I like the one where they clearly did this in a Cybertruck to make a point outside of the Trump. I mean, if I'm going to choose a terrorist attack, it's clearly this fake one by the FBI in Vegas. This other one's too depressing, and there's too much to think
that's the most disgusting thing I think I've ever seen.
It's the beginning of the year. Can we just
this photograph right here, bro?
This clearly staged fake terrorist attack that the FBI did outside of Trump's building for whatever reason. And by the way, don't expect any of this to end. Don't expect the drones and hot air balloons they'll start with soon.
This is just too much.
I'm telling you, they are going to turn up the heat here. On everything. Planes can't land anymore. Landing gear just doesn't deploy. Planes all over the world, nothing's working. Planes are crashing in to places.
Come on, man.
There's fog all over the country. Obviously, hopefully it's just fog. We don't know. Hope they're not spraying bird flu everywhere. I don't think they are, but someone sent me that text while I was sleeping. But I don't know. So it just does seem odd that it's before the inauguration. It's like the plagues.
Animals,
it's like the biblical plagues before the inauguration.
I mean, yeah,
that
that type of behavior.
It feels like to
Behavior
me,
is just fucking crazy.
China's about to take
I don't know, though.
Taiwan like yesterday.
They see us like killing and eating animals is crazy, which I mean I kind of understand. Right, but I mean they have to if they can understand, they want to understand vegetarianism, they gotta fucking understand sanitationism.
The one China, and as a country we have never deviated officially from the one China policy.
We
don't
recognize
Taiwan. I mean, we give money to Taiwan.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
Their military. See, this is what we're doing. We beef up people's military.
I agree with you because we don't fucking bathe in fucking shit.
Here we go. China adds to sanctions of U.S. defense contractor over Taiwan arms sale. So now China's going, hey, fuck you.
See the first one.
We're going to give Taiwan arms.
Oh, we did.
We are going to sanction.
These are fucking. I'm going to save all
China
these.
Started the year with a broadside against U.S. defense contractors responding to recently ramped up Taiwan arms sales by the Biden administration, laying down a fresh warning to President-elect Donald Trump. Beijing's Ministry of Commerce on Thursday blacklisted 10 companies as unreliable entities, barred from doing business in China, and said it would block an additional 28 from buying unspecified components that could have dual civilian and military uses. Most of the defense contractors named have previously been sanctioned by China and have little trade with the country, unlike some of the hundreds of Chinese entities with U.S. operations targeted in punishments by Washington, such as Huawei Technologies. I can never pronounce that. How do I pronounce? Do you know how to pronounce it? Huawei. I think you did it.
Is that Huawei?
I think it's Huawei. I believe it is. I think you're right. But so we play this game with China all the time where we're fucking with each other and, sanctioning each other and going, because China just hacked China just did a major hack, I believe, of the Department of the Treasury? What did they hack, China, recently? They just did a big hack. Yeah, right.
9,000, come on.
So the Treasury
Department.
Man.
9,000 people, bro.
Treasury Sanctions Office hacked by Chinese government. A troubling series of breaches of U.S. firms and agencies could intensify friction between Washington and Beijing.
That boss laugh,
so as Trump is about to take office, run this collision course with China.
I don't understand,
We're in this
man.
kind of
I don't
not
understand.
quite a hot war.
I don't get it.
Not even quite a cold war, but the beginnings of a problem with China. It's all over Taiwan. China wants Taiwan, and I told you I don't like it, but I'm going to guarantee that they get it. I'm, for the sake of humanity, Tim Dillon, for the sake of human beings on this earth thriving, I am going to guarantee the policy of the Tim Dillon Show from here on in is a one China policy that believes that the reunification, and I'll tell China, I hope you're watching, Hope you're watching. Love you guys. Love you long time. Not to be racist, but that is fun to say. The policy of the Tim Dillon Show is a one. I'm saying it. Who's saying this? Are they going to say it at the Golden Globes? Is Nicole Kidman saying it? No. They don't have the balls. It's the policy of the Tim Dillon Show. After thought,
that shit is so
after
fucked,
deliberation,
dude.
I like a Z-Pack. I like my antibiotics. They make them in China.
Cow piss review.
We
Come
have a
on.
one China policy on the Tim Dillon Show. We believe that China and Taiwan, it's an inevitable reunification. And I'm sorry to my Taiwanese fans, of which I have very few or almost none. I don't like it. I don't like it either. But I'm going to have to help this because we cannot go and have a war with China and end all life on Earth. I'm just saying. I'm saying to Taiwan, I love you. And I love everything you're about. But because I want peace in this world, it's time. Beijing's claim to Taiwan is its preeminent source of friction with the U.S. Yeah, of course. China regularly flexes military muscle with jet fighters and warships. I know they want it. No one can ever sever the bond of kinship between us. This is President Xi talking to Taiwan. No one can ever sever the bond of kinship between us, and no one can ever stop China's reunification, a trend of the times. Well,
Bro.
The Tim Dillon Show will not be stopping it. Call me a coward and a traitor. Fine, I've been called worse. I'm not stopping it. In fact, I'm getting on board now because I actually think families should be together again and put together. I do. And look, you guys, can you hash it out and get it together? I don't like all this fighting. You know, while the Trump administration sold Taiwan more weapons, the Biden administration sold Taiwan better weapons for Taiwan self-defense. I'm saying this. We really need... Yeah, it's going to be, and China's sanctioning all these guys. General Dynamics, Lockheed, Raytheon, and Boeing's Defense Space and Security Unit. A lot of these guys were already on the no-no list. China already put them on a no-no list. Huawei, whatever, because they hacked the phone. They're on a no-no list over here. TikTok's on the no-no list, except it makes too much money, so we're not going to ban it. What happens is we put the company on the no-no list. You go on the naughty list if you're naughty. If you have a backdoor in your technology that allows for surveillance capability, you go on the no-no list, the naughty list. It's a lot of corporate espionage. That's a lot of what's going on, and that's the fight. The fight is the cell phones, it's the TikTok, it's the apps, it's not just the air and the land and the water.
3 stars.
The fight starts on social media with YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. That's the fight. What's going on the no-no? They put Meta on the no-no list. Facebook's on the naughty list in China because Facebook allows people to pop off and run there, and they flap their gums, run their mouth. China's not about that. China doesn't believe the strength of a population is chatter. So we're seeing this war play out with the different companies, the different economic interests, because we're so intertwined. This is what I hoped would save us. That our kids need to be overprescribed Chinese antibiotics so that they grow up and are eventually killed by antibiotics.
We can watch Sam Hyde.
Our little bronchitis-prone children need those Z-Packs to clear their little lungs so they can keep vaping.
This was just released.
Hoped this economic alliance would save us. I hoped and I prayed that our influencers needed to dance in their kitchens to make a living because we don't educate anybody anymore. So that the Chinese TikTok app, although probably a facial recognition software tool.
Come on, bro. Check this out. Like, bro, come on.
I thought because
we
needed it for our economy, that we couldn't go to war. That's what we need to do. We need to destroy our countries long term. That's why we got all our fast food over there, making them fat and pigs. long-term destruction, economic destruction, not exchange of missiles, go bye-bye in 5 minutes, no good. Long game, long-term, they go at our universities.
Come on, man.
We go at their waistlines. We fill their malls with garbage, and poison, and plastic food. You know, we rot their brains with our entertainment and our pop culture. We introduce terms to them like demigender. That's our long game. I've gone the other way on the woke stuff now. It might be the only way to fight, to just confuse people. But this is the only thing that we can hope for here is a long, prolonged war where our economic engine is continually coming up with things to destroy and impoverish our enemies and their children, as they have with us. We come up with new apps that encourage antisocial behavior and violence.
What the fuck is this?
We sexualize people. We get them to throw their morals away. We destroy them one by one. We destroy them with the products right on their phone, and they do the same to us. They do the same to us. We dumb them down. We export the Costco family. In China, they're running around. Double choc cookie. Double choc cookie. Their brains melt in their heads. Like the people here.
Story for
Can't we destroy them the way we've destroyed ourselves? I hope we're trying. I hope we're trying. It's the only hope. And Taiwan, you better get on board. I'm sorry, Taiwan, but I'm going to have a stern talking to with you. I'm having a stern talking to you right now. The policy of the Tim Dillon Show is one China, yes or yes. I'm choosing my ally, energy, me and Xi, and Barry Weiss, and Batya Yanga Yaga, and the whole free press, and whoever the hell, Ann Applebaum. You want to go fight him? Honey cakes? Get in the fucking aircraft carrier and head out to the South China Sea. I'll be in Miami. If you want to fight them, all you neocon war babies, if you want to fight them, get on the aircraft carrier. I'll be in Miami. Let me know how it goes. Upload your results to TikTok. Okay? Because I'm not fighting them over Taiwan. We're not fighting them over Ukraine. Call Putin right now. It's his. Any of you fucks want to keep sending poor kids to fight these wars, get on the aircraft carrier yourself. Brett Stevens of the Wall Street Journal, all you guys want to editorialize Jonah Goldberg, everybody get on the aircraft carrier and go. Please do not let me stop you. Do not let me stop you. I will be at Hillstone and Santa Barbara with Steve Bannon. If he'll come, I think he will. More could be in store once Trump returns to the White House, as the president-elect has vowed significant new pressure on Beijing, including with tariffs. Well, I understand some of the economic tariffs. Let's take the temperature down on the war. I understand some of the tariffs, and I understand that, and I think some of that has a very understandable place in the economic policy. Not maybe widespread all over the place tariffs, but trying to correct trade imbalances, trying to protect American jobs, trying to incentivize companies to build plants here and hire American workers. That's why the whole visa thing with Elon and Vivek went left, because people were like, we did not elect this administration to hear about how talented people were from in other countries. I'm sure they're talented there. That's great. But that was not why anyone elected Trump, so that his surrogates could come out and talk about how talented engineers were in other countries. Okay? Trump told the Wall Street Journal's editorial board that Xi wouldn't dare move against Taiwan because he said Xi sees Trump as crazy, but if he did, I would say, if you go into Taiwan, I'm sorry to do this, I'm going to tax you 150 to 200%. Well, that's fine. I think a tax might be good. If you do something, we're going to tax you. I'm hoping everybody can we need to take the temperature down. What is the fog? We got fog everywhere. We've got fog. They're blowing the...
Caught you. Glad I got you there. Elon Musk. Oh, by the way, please don't watch this if you're not Elon Musk, okay? This is a one-off video that we're doing. This is private, personal. I put this in his email. I don't know how you got this, unless you're on the Asmongold Discord server, in which case you know my every move, okay? Me and Asmongold
How many views is it at now?
have
Let's
been
see.
planning this for a while now. Moist Critical's
20
involved.
million views.
And yeah, I guess if you're on the Moist Critical Discord server, you would have access to this file. So kudos to you, hacker. I don't think Elon's gonna watch this. And listen, I know as a comedian, first and foremost, I don't expect people to take me seriously, but it is a fact that shit posting and public opinion are now intermingled permanently, and it's not going anywhere. And that's just the way it is. I get all my news from memes, basically. That's how I get my news. Is that how you get your news? How would you even get the news if you weren't looking at memes? You'd watch a show? That's even more fucking retarded. Let me turn that off. It's a smart thermostat, so it's gonna take 15 minutes to figure out how that fucking thing works. It's very intuitive. I don't know why the Nest thermostat is taking you so long to learn and intuit. Okay, a toddler could figure this out. A toddler on an iPad could figure out how to use the Nest thermostat. That's Chris Lynch, by the way, Elon. Do not hire him, okay? He's leaving this job very soon. See, he's white. He's too lazy. Chris, you're so lazy and white. Well, yeah. You guys should have studied violin harder as kids. I swear to God, Vivek would have figured this out by now. I want to believe that Elon is one of the great men of our age and that he has what it takes to become a 21st century Andrew Carnegie. I think it's important to have great men to look up to. Trump, Joe Rogan, oh there it goes, Elon, Tucker, and it's not necessarily important that our great men are perfect, but they're symbols of what we could be. I think if Ron Paul took steroids, he would be my number one. That would be my number one guy. You agree? Yeah. I would like to offer you an escape, an exit from this hole you've been digging. You are a beloved figure. Anytime you do anything remotely based, people lose it. Oh my God, he's based! Yo! He just said that woke liberals aren't cool. He's based. What does he say? Yeah, anytime you post an AI kitten in a MAGA hat, people lose their, he's based! He's fucking based, man. For the guy who's the free speech guy, and not only that, but the reasoning from first principles guy, the logical fallacy guy, the Reddit guy, good faith argue with everybody, you know, whatever. All that shit. Blanket banning groypers, taking away blue checks, changing the algorithm of the site because 100 people ratioed you, because there's fucking 50,000 posts. They're all organic, by the way. This is not some Russian bot farm. It's not some nefarious behind the scenes, let's mess with Elon, we're gonna fuck with him. That's not what it is. It's you tapped into a critical, moist critical. You tapped into a moist critical, and we're back to moist critical. Mainline concern for the American people. And you treated it in a way that was glib and dismissive. You just became a Republican 3 months ago, and you're talking about removing a big portion of regular people, root and stem. No. People fucking love you. They will forgive you. Nobody is trying to get you to become turbo base pilled, full Pat Buchanan immigration policy. People broadly understand that you are a San Francisco, tech, California, international immigrant. If you want to be a regular tech guy, that's fine. You can do that. You can be Larry Ellison. You can go play on the boat. Nobody's going to give a fuck. Realize what you're fighting for. If you're going to be the tech king, if you've courted the MAGA base, you wanted these people on your side. They're ready to be on your side, but you have to fight not for Ben Shapiro's idea of the country of America. the notion of America as this collection of ideas. That's not what it is. It's Americans. That's who you have to fight for. If you're in America, doing business in America, you want to be the man in America, you have to fight for the American people. You're not fighting for a paragraph. You're not fighting for a set of ideas, man. It's the American people who need your help. That's fundamentally why I think people are pissed off here. And it's an easy fix. Just don't call them retards. Elon, have you met Chris? He's on Asmongold. He's streaming all the time. You should just check him out. He's playing these games and stuff. He's amazing what the kid does with video games. I can't believe it. People didn't suddenly have a flare-up of India hate. I've been monitoring the Indian hate websites for a while. It's actually set to my homepage. I've been checking these websites out. I watch what these people do. There were very few overt Indian haters spewing their nonsensical filth everywhere 72 hours ago. What happened? Okay, 72 hours ago, most people in the MAGA base looked at Vivek Ramaswamy with some notion of admiration, or hey, that guy says cool stuff every once in a while. Hey, you know what? I think I like that guy. Now, he's got to be deported. Sucks, man. And he's not being deported because of the color of his skin. He's being deported for the content of his character. And I think that truly was a mask-off moment where we saw that Vivek Ramaswamy really is just a fucking nerd who needs to go back. I think that what you did is different. I think it's everybody spurgs out. I'm spurging out right now. I'm gonna spurg out later, okay? On Chris, Lynch. And also, Indians do cool stuff every once in a while. They get the chest slapping, wrestling. You guys watch that action movies. He's shooting a bullet out of the air with a gun. He's flipping over the tuk-tuk. Indian clubs, shoulder rehab, exercise, fantastic. The hate. It's irrational hate. It's just racism. It's just a nonsensical racism. The hate and racism and anti-Indian sentiment, it's there to the extent that Indians are being used to replace white people. That's it. We have to stop playing pretend. We're not talking about exceptional Indians here. And that's why this is sort of spreading like wildfire, people sharing these H-1B lists of what the jobs are. You are not in Calcutta scouting for the next Indian Einstein. You're not. We have to make it to outer space and invent new computers. Let's get to India and get the next Nikola Tesla. That's not what's happening. We're talking about people at fucking gas stations. You bring them over, you put them in a fucking gas station, and then we'll go around all the gas stations in the USA and find the next genius. Well, what if he's not in India? What if he's working at a gas station in North Carolina? He might be there. We don't know. Why don't we bring everybody here, and then we can look for everybody? That's actually a fucking genius idea. We bring fucking everybody here, and then, like a needle in a haystack, we find the one man who can invent electrical computer. That sounds fucking retarded, and it's not true. You have to at least say that the H-1B program is being scammed. If you don't admit that, then as far as like any type of discussion that goes anywhere is concerned, it's over. It's over. This is a direct quote from Moist Critical himself. I'm speaking on his behalf. He was too busy streaming Marvel Rivals to talk to you. So I'm here on his behalf, giving you opinions that he approved, okay? Nobody's expecting you to go full Steve Bannon here, but you're a tech bro, we get it. Immigrant. But if you are on Team America, and by Team America, I don't mean Ben Shapiro's collection of ideas. America's not a collection of ideas. America is a people, Americans. If you are Team America, then the most prominent talking points need to be the immediate deportation of illegals and the end of the abuse of the American worker by programs like this H-1B, the gamification of stuff like this that's set up to benefit people who aren't us. Nobody wants to solve the Japanese birth rate problem by turning Japan into India. That's preposterous. That only would work in a computer simulation where you can just change the code and make a Japanese person. I've tried it! It can't be done. In my laboratory, okay, where Asmongold is right now, down in the basement, I have tried over 150 times to turn an Indian into a Japanese man. And the only thing I was able to accomplish was boiling them. All right? If you think, Elon, or Asmongold if you're watching this, if you think you can turn an Indian person into a Japanese person by boiling them, not gonna happen, okay? Go down to my basement and talk to the 150 Indians that I already tried that on. Doesn't work. Nobody wants to solve the American birth rate problem. What's gonna happen? We're gonna run out of people. Oh, the stock prices are gonna go down. Oh, that's a problem for the All In podcast to figure out. It's David Sachs. Sacks of what? Sacks of gold? Just start calling yourself David Sachs of gold. What's the other guy? Jason Sachs? Asmongold? Asmongold. David Sachs has changed his name to Asmongold. The branding is already set up for you. Asmongold wants to himself. You can replace his body and become the top streamer in America. I shouldn't say Asmongold wants to himself. I love Asmongold. That guy's classic. He's the ultimate. He's the best streamer. Is he good? I think he's good. I've never watched him. I just know his name is Asmongold. The only people who want to fix the American birth rate problem by turning America into India are fuckers. People are not interchangeable economic units. If they're not more than that, then that's just an extension of antinatalism. That's just nihilism. That's just people don't matter. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the universe doesn't care. Shit. The universe cares. That's why we're here. It's understandable why a computer guy, why an engineer would think that or would want to think that, because it would make solving problems so much easier. We have hardwired group preferences, we have genetic memory, we have culture. This is not learned stuff. It's so deeply embedded in us that it carries on for thousands of years. Thinking of people as interchangeable units, while it would be useful in a simulation or in an economic theorem, it strips them of their humanity. And by the way, it's one of the first steps towards any authoritarian dictatorship type system. It's one of the first steps towards Marxism, is thinking of people as just labor. It's a very gross, anti-human thing to think, just to appeal to the Redditor in you. That's middle brain shit. Stupid people at the bottom of the spectrum know that everybody is special. Everybody's special. Everybody's different and has their own thing. Retards know this. Geniuses understand that everybody is a unique product by and for their zeitgeist, or Zeitgeist if you want to go with the moist critical pronunciation. Everybody is uniquely a product of their time and location and has their place in space and time. The smart people know this, the stupid people know this. It's people in the middle with 110 IQ, which is the worst IQ to have, who think that people can just be pushed around and moved around and changed. They can't. No hate towards Hispanics, okay? But that's why the room that I'm sitting in is covered in dust, is because the general contractor I hired used Hispanic labor. I didn't know. They laid down masonry cement. When I said I wanted polished concrete floors, masonry cement, you can't polish it. They left board marks and footprints in it. And I had to pay another crew of black people, okay, shout out to Greg, to come in here with jackhammers and get this shit dumpstered out of here. I went and hired my own blacks. I went in the ghetto and hired them by hand. That's how you need to hire blacks for SpaceX. And what you get is you get lower quality construction. You get lower wages for the blue collar workers who are here and fighting. You realize that people are fucking up against the wall fighting to make ends meet? Do you understand that the American people are on the ropes right now? Your people are not the world, okay? It's the American people. That's where this shit is popping off. That's where you came to do business. The American people are your problem now, to the extent that you want people to pay attention to your opinion. And by people, I mean actual people. Not Patrick Bet-David, not Ian Miles Chong, Scott Adams, not these fucking f***its that'll walk around sucking your ass because you have money and because you made an electric car. But to the extent that you want that, you have to protect the American people. You're all about being pro-natalism and increasing the birth rate. Why is the average dude gonna want to have kids when he can barely afford to live by himself and eat Domino's? Hey, why isn't China importing infinity Indians right now? If it's such a huge economic advantage, why isn't China doing it? We need to do a naval blockade of China to make sure they don't get any of these amazing Indians. Every Indian that makes his way into China is a threat because China will use their genius to get one over on us. That's the biggest threat this country's facing, right? I think we need to go nuclear. I think we need to say, if China imports enough Indians, it's like diamonds. It's like nanotechnology. Indians are like nanotechnology. We have to be willing to use nuclear weapons to keep China from getting these precious Indians. That's step one. Sounds retarded, right? Because it is. It's retarded. It's subtarded. Ever hear of a subtard? By the way, Moist Critical coined that term, subtard. Competing with China in what sense? GDP? Making a number go up? Having software companies that are valued more highly? Competing with China in what sense? And at what cost? If the cost is making America look like Calcutta, that's not worth it. That's not a price that we're willing to pay. People keep posting these aerial drone display videos of drones shaped like a dragon. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's something that a bright high schooler could do on a smaller scale, is it not? Making drones move around in 3D space? How is that an impressive problem to anybody except boneheads who are mystified by drones in the first place? Look at this aerial drone display. It's a ballet of killer drones. How can we compete with that? That's what drones do. They move around in coordinate space. Who gives a fuck? Well, it's the low-hanging fruit of robotics that mystifies people. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Didn't we have more impressive shit in the 80s? Isn't this more impressive?
One. Cover.
With no pilot to compromise performance, even more unusual craft and propulsion systems have been designed and tested.
Why do we need to compete with them? Can't we just kick their spies out and tell them to fuck off? When do I get some Chinese pussy, okay? Am I not a big enough media figure that the CCP, is it the CCP, Chinese Communist Party? Why aren't they sending these hot spies to fuck with me? Suck my dick for blackmail. When's that gonna happen? China, I'm waiting, okay? I have 300,000 YouTube subscribers, or 250,000 probably, 200,000? How much on Hide Wars? If you have over 100,000 Twitter followers, you should demand that a hot Chinese spy comes and sucks your dick, okay? You take video, whatever. Why is that not, am I not popular enough to get this fucking mingling? To get Bing Bing over here? Ah! A Tesla Model X and Bing Bing over here sucking me. That's my price, China. Send them over. Do we need to build giant cities that nobody lives in to compete? Do we need to turn our country into a surveillance state fucking nightmare to compete? Do we need to essentially have slave labor to compete? What type of competition are you talking about? And at what cost? Competing with China is competing with literal slave labor, and that's impossible to compete with. It's not worth competing with. And nobody who has a real sense of what matters in life thinks anything about competing with China. We've been hearing this for 30 fucking years. As long as China has been an industrial nation, there have been headlines, The Economist. I remember this in the dentist office when I was a kid. China's looming on the horizon. We have to accept a lower quality of life immediately to compete with China. That's the thrust of every article. You, the American worker, you have to take less pay and accept more bullshit because there's a big boogeyman looming on the horizon. It's China for 30 years. Before that, it was Japan. It's constant. It's to keep wages suppressed. It's to make you shut up. Elon doubles down in this tweet, offering a false dichotomy. Either we have to have more legal immigration, or you, the person disagreeing with it, you want America to fail for your own personal gain. What personal gain are you talking about? You want America to fail for your own personal gain. What is, Elon, what are you talking about? How does anybody personally gain from this? The only gain happening is in stock prices of tech companies. That's the gain. That's where the gain is. Cui bono. That's who stands to benefit from this arrangement. This tweet, it's not first principles thinking. It's not in good faith dialogue. This is a dishonest mischaracterization. Nobody's calling you a liar. People say things in the heat of the moment that are dishonest, though. This is a dishonest mischaracterization of the tens of thousands of people who are blowing up your website. This is not an own on Elon. This is not dunking on Elon. I know that you can bring the ban hammer down, and I know that you are going to be tempted to do so, that you already have with the Groypers, which, by the way, you have to undo that, man. You blanket banned people, not for saying not for posting swastikas, but for stating their opinion on this H-1B issue. That is a complete violation of the trust that the people you wanted to like you placed in you when you said that you're for free speech. It's straight George W. Bush. You're either with us or you're with the terrorists. That's what this is. You're either agreeing with me or you're fucking an enemy. You're an enemy. It's not an argument. It's not a well-reasoned position. It's just my way or the highway. Is that what free speech is? Is that who you are? You can just be a celebrity. You can be like Ellen DeGeneres. You can be like The Rock. And you can get Ozempic, you can get breast implants, start going on The View. Whatever you want for popularity, you can do that, of course. But to the extent that you have popularity, if you keep digging this hole, it will be misplaced, and it'll be there because you're rich. What does winning actually mean? Healthy, functioning societies, they need more than gadgets. They need more than Marvel, more than Goy slop. They need a shared ideology, heritage, history, beliefs and values, religion, or they collapse and they crumble. That's Babel, that's Rome, that's every empire that's been crushed because there wasn't social cohesion. Basic bitch libertarian principles aren't enough. Maybe they're enough to get VC funding, maybe they're enough to create an interesting exercise of some sort, but they're not enough to hold people together. And again, we're back to the idea of people as a collection of economic units. That's what at the foundation of Marxism, that reality is just math. And thus the justification for a lot of Marxism is also what leads Silicon Valley libertarian type people to attempt to quantify the unquantifiable. Mount Rushmore, the space program, the interstate system, motion pictures, electricity, these are all things that are not quantifiable. So they're quantifiable in the sense that you can look back and you can say that they cost X amount of dollars or that a certain amount of concrete and steel was used in their construction. But these dream projects are unquantifiable things. There's no slider in the program where you can crank up the number of Indians to 200 million and bring the American dream to fruition faster, okay? There's no data entry point where you can bump up the Indians and get Chrysler buildings popping up everywhere, more Art Deco construction. We do not need more bloated code bases, more tech gadgets, more poorly run hotels, more work ethic, okay? What we need is we need leaders willing to fight for the American people, not for corporations, not for the idea of America, but for the American people. That is the only thing that we need on the brink of collapse, on the eve of our crumbling. It needs to be something higher, a higher ideal than tech company market caps. If it's just that, then it's just noise. It's just not reality. Reality is the hundreds of thousands of kids who are graduating with massive college debt, hundreds of job applications. They're being looked over for people who are not us. That's not a meritocracy. That's not some idealistic, high-minded thing. It's just money. Apple and Google might win, but America will be worse. The soil that all this winning flourishes out of is salted. And that means that the next Apple, the next Google will be Chinese. Potentially the next SpaceX will be Chinese. Wouldn't that be strange? Wouldn't that be interesting if China makes it to Mars first? It would be great for humanity. Why don't we do it? Let's do it. China makes it to Mars before America. Does that sound like fun? It's just humans. They're just interchangeable economic units. Why wouldn't we want that? I think we do it. It sounds good to me. How do we define winning? I just won. That was Asmongold that I spit on. I killed him. I'm not dissing Asmongold. I'm just playing around. I spit on Moist Critical. I'll spit on his face. Fucking guy. No, we love Moist. We have a deal with Moist right now. It's for nicotine pouches. These are Moist's nicotine pouches. I call them Moist. Did you know Moist is a Yiddish word? I didn't know Moist Critical is actually Jewish. Did you know that? Crazy fact. Winning. Is winning making it so that tech companies have even higher valuations? Is that winning? It's the valuation of Netflix. I figured it out. That's why we're not winning, is because Netflix stock isn't high enough. That's the only way to win. I want to kill my neighbors and burn them alive and blow up my car, but it's okay because Netflix is worth $3 trillion. I want to cut my cock off and scramble my brain with fucking fluoride. I'm gonna win because Netflix is worth $3 trillion. I can't believe the dollars are this high. I can't believe we're winning this much. The dollars are this high. We have such good drones and spying technology. We're winning. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. At least leftoid medicine vaccine brain niggas. Bleep that out, please. I said people. At least people whose blood has been replaced with vaccines and are so far on the left they salute Mickey Mouse. They think that they're helping people. If winning is just drones doing an aerial display while a robot jerks me off to sample my DNA, then everything is lost. I killed a homeless person today, Chris. Did you know that? It was free speech. I said, "You fucking dirty ass bum ruining my street. I'll kill you." And then I used a speech gun to shoot a speech bullet into his speech head. I ripped an NFL cheerleader team. The guys too. I used free speech on them. Do they have male cheerleaders in the NFL? National Flag League. Look it up, please. Does the NFL have male cheerleaders? That is awesome if that's true. A third of the league is male cheerleaders. America is the greatest country on earth. Here's your male cheerleaders. Is everybody on fentanyl? Everybody working at D'Angelo's? Everybody working at the mall? They're all retards? Everybody who's had their lives destroyed by Big Pharma, by the grist mill of inflation and taxation, everybody that's been betrayed by their leadership in this country, are they all retards? Is everybody who's got, and this is a lot of people, who has $400 in their bank account and is getting hit with overdraft fees and has the landlord from hell, are they all retards? You work at a sub sandwich shop. You couldn't invent PayPal. If you really believe that these people are all retards, then you have no place in the discourse going on about the future of this country. You are just a computer guy. And I don't think you really believe that. I hope to God that you don't. But if that's really what you believe, then you're not a leader. I could say fuck you. I could say take a step back and fuck your own face. But I'll say this. If you really believe that the American people are retards, which they are, we got male cheerleaders in the NFL, but if you really do not have in your heart grace and respect for the Homer Simpson, vinyl siding, economy shitbox driving retards who make your dream possible, if you have a heart, if you are a human being, then that will sting harder than telling you to go fuck yourself. You can do the go fuck yourself all day. I tell myself to go fuck myself. You can say that all day. Fuck you. Fuck you. I say that in the mirror when I wake up and when I put makeup on. Who gives a fuck? If you believe these people are retards and you don't have any goodwill towards them, then you're not a leader. You're just a nerd. And there's plenty of those. There's plenty of nerds who got lucky. I bought Bitcoin, Magic the Gathering online exchange. I got lucky. There's no shortage of nerds who got lucky. There's this disturbing idea from the BoomerCon right that America is just a collection of ideas, and you bring everybody in the world, the teeming masses who are desperate for a half-gallon of milk, you bring them here and all of a sudden they're hit like lightning with this idea that makes them able to make this country stronger. This country's never been weaker, and it's never been more open to foreigners who aren't us. These two things, they're not unrelated. They're
It's just a collection of ideas, really good ideas. That's why they're doing so good. Growth on the train. That's the good part, by the way. I think one of the jokes about Indians in my stand-up, I had an Indian woman come up to me after a show.
Beating Indian style for the jokes that I made. She said to me, "Thank you for saying that. I went there with my 13-year-old sister and they pulled her pants down on the train." Is that an Indian idea? When we bring them over, does that idea suddenly vanish and they get the neural net download of American ideas? Is that how it works? The people who are mad at you right now don't view America as a collection of ideas. It's not an economic zone. I hate how there's this argument against Americans asking them what they built. If you're so great, what did you build? What did you build? Nothing significant that gets built gets built on an individualistic scale. The greatest things that humans have built, cathedrals, which if you disagree with this, it's just, you're wrong. I mean, computers are pretty up there, but cathedrals are a good example of this. Cathedrals are built over hundreds of years. They're built not just by the army of stone masons who build them, but by the towns who pay for it. They are the cream sitting on top of the cake. The cake is the soil. The cake is the vinyl siding dumbasses who are your customers, who are the people who pay for this shit by putting their retirement accounts in Vanguard mutual funds. They're the people who you owe a debt to, a debt for being able to do the stuff that you do. These H-1B tech workers that are coming in, so many of them are just managing apps that other people built. They're maintaining code bases for stuff that was built years ago. What are they making? Social media apps that collect all your data? They're making to-do apps, dating apps. Who fucking cares, man? What did they build? Mobile phone games? It's just stuff that feeds more into consumerism. It's not actually making life better for anybody. The sentiment that Americans aren't good enough, that's one of the darker things that has happened here. I know that Vivek Ramaswamy does believe it to be the case, and for him, this Twitter bomb was a mask-off moment in a way that I hope it wasn't for you. But that sentiment and the Twitter deboosting, algorithm change, blanket ban, all that stuff, those are the darker things in the sense of not good for humanity, not good for the future. Running Twitter the same way your enemies did before you bought it from them. Is that what you wanted when you bought this thing? Is that the let it sink in moment? Is that what you envisioned for the global meeting grounds? And we're not talking about just making the 10% of people on the left and the 10% of people on the right mad. The middle is the Overton window. You're just talking about satisfying the Overton window. This is censorship. You're engaging in censorship pretty much right off the rip here. You just bought Twitter. You just got in with Trump. You just became a Republican. You just courted the MAGA base. That's a pretty big betrayal of the role that you have stepped in to fill, whether or not it's even true, okay? I couldn't work at SpaceX. I don't have a delusion about that. It doesn't matter because you are in charge of American companies. You are an American leader. So what matters is that that's the sentiment people are walking away with after your tweet storm. It's not helped by these Patrick Bet David, wolf in sheep's clothing, cocksucker podcaster guys who are just up your ass because they have money. The extent to which you deserve to be a king, more importantly, or equally importantly, how posterity will look upon your works, is directly related to your attitude, your benevolence towards the American people. The Cybertruck's cool, but if America crumbles because we've taken on too many outsiders who don't give a shit about the country, then the Cybertruck will be a footnote in a Wikipedia. It'll be the DeLorean. It'll be something interesting. People look back, oh, that was kind of cool. You know why they won't be driving it? Because they'll be driving a Neo, and China will be the first to Mars. This isn't fixed by moving the goalposts of what an American is. It would be a lot easier if an American was just an Indian with an Ivy League degree. It would make this whole problem go away instantly if that worked. If you could just wave your hand and say that an American is a Guatemalan who was born here, that's an American. We wouldn't have to have this painful conversation. It would be so easy if you could do that, if it were a computer simulation. That's Marvel movie shit. An American is whoever Doctor Strange brings through the portal to beat Thanos. The new Spider-Man is an American. It's a lesbian from Sri Lanka who just came here to start up a cupcake business. But she listens to Cold Wave. And she just came here to start up her hair dye business. She's an American. She's here for the American dream. That's not reality. That's math, that's Marxism, that's computer programmer, simulation, bullshit. We all know what an American is. And all these paragraph-long definitions and high-minded ideas, it's just propaganda. We know what an American is. And if you're not here to help the American people, then your usefulness to us is over with. The right wing, Republicans, conservatives, etc., they are trolls and memers and shit posters, and they have acerbic ideas, and they're also the most forgiving people. They are the most forgiving people. Anytime anybody does anything remotely based, they are absorbed by the right. Anna Kasparian talking about not feeling safe in her neighborhood. That's based, man. Anna Kasparian was red-pilled this whole time? I can't believe it. Damn. People, broadly speaking, do not expect you to be full-on 1950s racist Hank Hill, get him out guy. Get him out of here! That's not what they're looking for, okay? They're fine with the Silicon Valley tech version, the occasionally based, occasionally Neil deGrasse Tyson soy face. They love that Elon. It's this idea that Americans aren't good enough, this misunderstanding of what America is. You're just as bad as the people you bought the website from, if this continues to be the case. Are you able to listen to valid criticism? It's not from Russian bots. It's not a coordinated attack on you. It's tens of thousands of people pissed off because they think you betrayed them. I hope to God you're a leader. And the rest of you can keep watching this right now. Check it out. asmongold.com/ what's the guy's name? Moist Critical. That's the website. asmongold.com/ Moist Critical. You can now, if you're not Elon, you can jump over to the regular video and start watching. What I actually believe, I think that the U.S. economy is grinding to a halt, and that the tech bros and investors, it's like someone tweeted about this, the bubble in the Japanese economy, where Japan was faced with the decision to either start importing people or get ready for a long winter. I saw that tweet and that immediately rang true. I think that these investor bros are counting on AI to offset the loss in productivity of this dying empire. It's slowly being realized that AI is, for all intents and purposes, a glorified spell checker. I use AI all the time. I'm a pro subscriber to ChatGPT and Perplexity.ai. I have Perplexity AI as my default search engine, and it's about as good as searching forum posts was 20 years ago. It's not some revolutionary thing. It's extra-dimensional autocomplete. The words have weighting and tone and various other dimensions that are vectors, and what you get at the end of it is an article that can almost fool a computer into thinking it was written by a human. I think there's a game of musical chairs going on with money, and people are desperate for a way to keep that game of musical chairs going, even if it means fucking us over. The idea that these tech guys want to bring in exceptional people is just not true. They're looking to hire basically slaves who can't leave their company without leaving the country, who will work for 50%. That's the other thing. They keep saying they'll work 80 hours a week, which is bullshit. Nobody works 80 hours a week. They work 20 hours a week of actual work, and the rest of the time is spent fucking around on the phone and showing the boss that they're working 80 hours a week, sitting in the office. They're not actually working 80 hours a week. And furthermore, why should anybody have to work 80 hours a week? Why is this a race to create slaves? Why is that a good thing? Why is that a humane thing? Why is that good for humanity? How is it possible, if you're a Democrat or a Republican, if you're left or right, why is it a good thing to want slaves? They'll work 100 hours a week. They'll work in their sleep. They'll work 200 hours a week. They'll work infinity. They'll have no lives. That's not a good thing. If you want more hours out of something, you have to pay them more. It's just money. They'll do it for 20,000. That's what they're saying. They're pretending like they're complimenting their diligence and their work ethic. What they're really saying is we can hire them for cheaper. That's what that means. 80 hours a week or pay them 100,000 more a year. It's the same thing. They're just saying you can pay these people 150,000 instead of 400,000 or 80,000 instead of 250,000. It's just money. Any system that gets set up is going to be gamed. This one is gamed by Indians who are master gamers. Pull up the Cognizant article. This is a company that was found guilty of setting a pattern and practice of discrimination against non-South Asian and non-Indian workers. That's not the intention of the program. The intention of the program is to create a meritocracy. But like Thomas Sowell said, you have to judge things on their outcomes, not their intentions. You can make a law called the everybody good, free money, everything good law. But if the end result is that quality of life goes to shit, that's what you have to judge it on. And so this H-1B stuff, you can't judge it on the floral, high-minded, beautiful, humanistic language that's used to sell it. That's just propaganda. You have to judge it on the end result. Here's another one. Hire workers at a fraction of the cost of American workers. Force them to work longer hours because they won't leave their job, because if they quit, they're gone from America. This is not helped by a government oversight committee or anything like that. It's just the case that when you set up a system that can be gamed, it gets gamed. That's how people work. They're looking for the path of least resistance. They're looking to maximize their benefit from the system. That's just human nature. Massive payouts over claims they discriminated against American workers in favor of foreign workers. Apple paid $25 million to the deal, which is like $25 to a regular person. Apple engaged in a pattern of citizenship status discrimination in recruitment positions. The claim that we can't find talented people here is nonsense. It's dishonest. The claim should be that we can't afford to pay talented people enough, or we don't want to. Sorry for getting overly serious here with you. At the end of the day, I think you should buy Bitcoin. There's this tendency to want powerful people or people in a leadership position. You get emotional when their every worldview doesn't line up with yours. You know, Trump's not based enough, or Joe Rogan's too whatever. But these are the men who define our times, and I think it's important you allow them to be flawed people to some extent, but also to push back when they go nuts. But in this case, I think it's critically important. It's moist critically important. It's moist critical. This is the whole thing that Moist Critical says every time we talk to him. He put it all on the line to become the free speech guy and to turn Twitter into the global discussion space of the world. And you don't accidentally become adored by people. He can't just say, oh, I was just building a business and then I was saying stuff online and then I guess people looked up to me. No. There are plenty of quiet billionaires. There are plenty of quiet money makers, inventors. There are plenty of quiet engineers. There are plenty of people who aren't going to the Met Gala in the Satan costume. Okay? There are plenty of people like that. You don't accidentally become the hope of a nation. You don't accidentally become the hope of a generation. You don't. So if he wants that, I think he can have it, and I think he deserves a shot at course correction. He's been under attack by everybody for his whole entire career, so I think he deserves that shot. If he fumbles this, then that's his legacy. I don't have any sort of committed opinion as to what's going to happen from here. I'm mostly concerned with Asmongold, as we said. Moist Critical, what games are they playing? Tall Guy, what was that game we played? Tall Man Run, that's what I'll be doing tonight. A little bit of Raid Shadow Legends of the game. Last War Survivor, big into that these days. I'm mostly doing that. I'm Elon's #1 ranked Diablo 4, huge achievement. I'm #1 ranked Raid Shadow Legends. Raid what? Last Survivor? I'm #1 on that Last Survivor. Check me out on the boards there, guys, all right? Boom. Peace.
Bird flu in everyone's lungs. I'm kidding. That's probably not happening. But it is funny. I scared this valet. I stayed at this hotel and I scared this valet. He goes, "What's with the fog?" I go, "It's the bird flu. They're blowing it around." He goes, "What?" Mystery as thick fog sweeps the U.S. with reports of burning chemical smell. This is the Daily Mail. What's in that fog? What's going on there? I don't know about this. A thick fog is sweeping across the U.S. with locals in multiple states reporting how a burning chemical-like smell has blanketed their communities. By the way, I mean, isn't it lovely? Isn't it a lovely time? Concerned Americans have flooded social media with videos of what looks like white particles raining down and swirling in the air. Some witnesses have also claimed the fog has also triggered health symptoms similar to a respiratory illness. Here's the other thing. It's cough and cold season. It's flu season. COVID's still around. Lots of nasty colds. I had a cold a few weeks ago. It was nasty. It wasn't COVID or RSV or the flu. It wasn't anything, just nasty cold. It's nasty. Different viruses are running around. It's just what it is. I don't know that this fog is the reason for this. I don't know. But by the way, we've got a lot of pollution and chemical irritants. I don't know. Go to that article, What's Behind Minnesota's Recent Streak of Fog, on CBS News. Interesting. Let's play this woman. Maybe she knows. Maybe she'll tell us. I hope she doesn't say they're... She just goes, well, they're aerating the bird flu and spreading.
No surprise, we're in the dense fog advisory again. Now, this should persist until about midnight, and then we'll actually see some improvement. We're not going to feel improvement around here. We have some much colder air coming our way, but let's get back to the fog since we'll be dealing with it tonight. Here's Lisa Meadows with an explainer of the different types of fog we've been dealing with.
This is chemical bird flu fog. Now, there's different types of fog. There's a mist that comes off the ocean. This is a CIA fog that's actually the bird flu, the H1N1 bird flu, that they've aerated in a laboratory, and they're blowing it all over the country to kind of aerate and set the pandemic on the wind. What that'll enable them to do is clog the hospitals. It'll absolutely protect our pharma complex and completely destroy any chance the new administration has to do anything. Back to you, Tom.
Fog forms when your temperature cools to your dew point. When that happens, you get condensation. Basically, it's like a cloud that forms at the ground.
I have a gun to my head. Tom, there's a gun to the back. There's a gun to my back. This fog, which has not let up for 17 days, is absolutely normal. It smells metallic, and if you breathe it in, you cough blood. But that's exactly normal for this time of year. Bird flu, aerated pandemic fog is an absolutely normal thing.
Types of fog, and this weekend was unique because we had the setup for two different types to occur. So first, advection fog.
Yes.
This happens when you have the cold land
Yes.
surface. We had all that snowpack on the ground heading into the weekend, right? Well, then we had a warm, moist air mass move over that. We had the rain come in. We had a tie of a record high on
Right.
Saturday at
Which
MSP.
one is the bioweapon? Which part of the fog is the biological agent?
So what happened is we had that warm, moist air come in, and then it cooled down to saturation, and that caused that fog to form. Then we had a break in the clouds actually on Saturday, and we had the opportunity.
By the way, this, and I'm not trying to be conspiratorial, but this doesn't even sound like, this sounds weird. And I'm not even trying to be conspiratorial about it. This sounds odd. Like, there's something weird. She seems uneasy saying all of this. Like, this doesn't seem like she's like, well, this fog is the result of the mist and the snowpack and the dew point, and well, I don't know. It's there's something about it that just, she seems uneasy. It's probably nothing. It's probably just fog, but this bitch isn't convincing me and doesn't seem that great.
For radiation fog to form, we had the clear skies allowed for temperatures to drop. We had calm winds, so we didn't get any mixing of the atmosphere, and that allowed for that radiation fog to form. So all these ingredients allowed for foggy days to continue even into today. Now, out at MSP, it was the 5th time on record that we ended up having 20 hours of a half-mile visibility or less. The good news is we'll have a change. We have cold air coming in, wind shifting.
The good news is we'll soon all be dead. Dead.
The north, so that'll end this fog. It should clear up here as we head into about midnight.
Well, by the way, I'm hoping that she's right, that it's the dew point and the, because I'm not a meteorologist, and it's the cold and the heat and the steam and the whatever she said. I hope she's correct. I hope she's on point. I hope she's on the ball. I'm not rooting for whatever else the hell's going on. Somebody goes, those are alien spores. Internet reacts as fuck. I can't even handle it anymore. I'm a conspiracy guy. I can't even handle the conspiracies anymore. I'm just in my bed with the phone going, stop! Stop it! I can't handle alien spores in the fog. There's got to be something. There's got to be one normal day. Can we have one normal day? Can there be one normal period of time when we're not talking about alien spores in the fog and when somebody doesn't blow up a Tesla? The UK is experiencing crazy fog, too. Reports from around the globe are surfacing of mysterious illnesses linked to encounters with so-called chemical fog. Go to that Shadows of Ezra. Described as thick, lingering blanket, the fog has left people sick, many experiencing sudden cold or flu-like symptoms after only a brief exposure. Weird. People are saying it's FogVid 24. A lot of these things are going viral on X. And listen, let's hope that humanity's losing its mind. Because, by the way, this is also what happens when people go crazy. They start thinking everything is a problem. This is what happens when the whole country becomes schizophrenic. Now, it is either, but it doesn't help that there's drones hovering around and nobody knows why. And that the media's going, they're actually not there. And people are going, no, we see them. The media's going, they're actually not there. You're hysterical. So when nothing makes any sense and you can't trust anything, you become schizophrenic, effectively. So that could mean that something as regular as fog is driving people insane. I'm not saying it's not metallic and weird, and I don't know, because fog can carry smells and whatever, and it could also be pollutants and all the other shit. But there's also a possibility now that we're having a mass psychosis because we've been fucked with so much on every level. People are starting to lose their mind. And people are going, this is completely insane. And we're acting right now like we're either on the brink of a nuclear war or we're on the brink of an alien invasion. This seems to be the accepted wisdom of all the people you speak to. By the way, and these aren't like Looney Tunes. These are like people, like high-ranking officials. These are people who either believe we're like on the precipice of a conflict with a foreign government, or aliens are about to land, or both. Or both. And then most people go, you literally, I have conversations with people, they go, we're in a big conflict with a foreign government, and then the aliens are probably going to land maybe to prevent that conflict. And you have to go, what? Wait, what? And then you have to just get a croissant or something. There's nothing else to do. You got to go along with your humdrum bullshit life after this. You just have to go do dumb shit, like get a car wash, and you stand there as they're washing your cars. A bunch of guys are wiping down your car, and you have to think about whether it's aliens or a nuclear attack or both, and which one comes first. And is there going to be a big disclosure project? And it's like crazy. We're living in a time of peak. So either we're living in the most historic time ever, or we're all insane. Or, to take a page from the book of people that I've talked to, both. We are all insane, and it's a historic time, and that doesn't help. If this is the craziest time ever, and we're about to see and hear all these crazy things, we need to be rational and clear-eyed. And there's just nothing more disturbing than having aliens land into a planet of schizophrenics. You imagine that, the aliens land and they should reveal themselves. It was like, oh, fuck you, it's fraud. You government fraud.
Thanks for being here. I'm going to sign off now.
What?
Thanks,
Oh,
Eric,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sending,
We've seen this.
Luke
We've
is,
seen this act.
Who else is here
I
saying
don't know what the hell's going on. Here's more fog. More fog. Oh, what is this? This is fog from the Tesla burning. This is the burning Tesla. Play us a little more of this. I like this terrorist attack. If I'm going to go with a terrorist attack, it's this one, which is clearly fake.
Put it outside the Trump International Hotel Wednesday morning.
Smoke was coming from inside of the truck after we noticed the flash and the explosion, and I'm going to show you that first video. That's the Cybertruck parked right in front of the doors.
At a joint news conference Wednesday afternoon.
Show that again. This is the video of the Tesla Cybertruck exploding outside of the Trump Hotel in Vegas.
This video, that's the Cybertruck parked right in front of the doors.
At a joint news conference Wednesday afternoon.
So what this stuff seems to do, I don't know who's doing it, maybe it is this military guy, but what this stuff does is it's just the random nature of all this craziness is supposed to rattle people and destroy any sense of safety that they have and cause them to go insane because they become incredibly anxious and they become, terrified of all things. And these random events that happen are supposed to impress on people that public safety is not guaranteed. It is a risk to go anywhere and do anything, and I mean a big risk. Things are blowing up, people are driving down, and again,